Don't blink. This is a fast one. So it says the graphs of the polar graphs are r equal to 2 and r equal to 3 plus 2 cosine theta. Which one of these, in purple or in green, is r equal to? It's the purple. It's a circle, right? Think of make your hands like this. Every circle that goes out is a different r. And that's kind of what we used to call x, but every polar graph goes from the center out r, and then from here we go some angle theta. Does that make sense? So once you know theta, you can find r and know where every single point is, and that's what these graphs are. But r equal to 2 just means every point is whatever angle you have, it's 2 out. Does that make sense? All right, and this is a lily pad. We're going to look at the problem. The theta where they intersect is here. I cut that out, didn't I? I hope so. All right, so now everybody's going to want to know. So this area here, we can figure that out. We can figure this out with an integral. And the way we do that is area is 1/2 alpha to beta r squared d theta. Did we have that one yesterday? It's the only formula for polar that you need to memorize. But what is this the same as? The area of a what? Sector. It is the area of a sector. So you're adding up areas of sectors. Okay. In part A, it says, let R be the shaded in region. Find the area of it. Not only set it up, but find it. We can do that. We're going to do this blue region. We're going to, let's see, they're calling it R. That's going to be 1/2. We're going to go from 2 pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3 to 4 pi over 3. And which graph are we looking at? The green one or the purple one? Or both? We're just going from the green one to the center, right? So we just do the formula A or formula B? Which one? B. So you just go 3 plus 2 cosine theta, quantity squared. Easy. D theta. And then we're going to add the rest. Now the rest is this part here. Now, what fraction of a circle is it if we have 60 degrees here, 60 degrees here? What fraction is that of the whole circle? Yeah, this is going to be, the Pac-Man here is going to be 2/3 pi r squared. And what's the radius of this circle, the purple one? 2. And then you can use your calculator to figure that out. I'm not going to do that. All right, so take a moment. All right. Next. Awesome. In part B, a particle is moving with a certain velocity. R is still equal to 3 plus 2 cosine. The particle moves. This thing is a little irritating, this dr dt equals dt d theta. I know, or dr d theta. I know that looks a little confusing, but it's actually to make things a lot simpler. And the value of dr dt at theta equals pi over 3. Interpret your answer. So what we're going to do is r is equal to 3 plus 2 cosine theta, right? Let's take the derivative of r with respect to theta. And what will that answer be? Max, what do you think? -2, the derivative of cosine is negative sine theta. And we are with respect to theta, so it would be d theta d theta. You can leave that out. Now, this annoying thing, are you annoyed by it? Wouldn't it be great if things that we were annoyed with were actually our friends? Like some person you know is really irritating, but they're actually at your side. They have your back. This actually does, this DRT, DT is my answer. So why are people pointing right now? It's really weird. I'm going to put -2 sine, and we're going to put in for theta, pi over 3. You like that. All right, let's remember that. So this is pi over 3. What's the sign? Is it the x or the y? Which one is it? Is it the 1/2 or the square root of 3 over 2? It's the y. So this is going to be equal to -2 square root of 3 over 2, which simplifies to negative square root of 3. Now, there aren't really units, but it's radians per unit. If you want to leave it that way. And notice with part B, they do this all the time in BC. They have you get an answer, and then they have you interpret it. So interpret it just means, what does this negative mean? So would you put your hands together in a circle? And dr d theta has two qualities. It either does this or it does this. Gets smaller. What do you think the negative implies that the r is doing? Getting smaller. So we would say r changes, and I'd say r decreases is what I would say. Decreases. Therefore, it shape shrinks. That's perfect. The shape shrinks. And that's part B. Part C, it says, for the particle described above, find the value of dy dt. And remember, you still have this annoying thing that has our back. So when we do this, we go, oh, okay. In part C, r is equal to 3 plus 2 cosine theta. And we're looking for dy dt. I would love it. Let's do dy d theta first. dy d theta. Any idea of how you find dy d theta? I'm going to go back in time. We had two things. X equals r cosine theta and y equals r sine theta. Which one do we want to use for this derivative? The top one, x, or the bottom one, y? The y. So this here is my high, and this is my ho. And so what you're going to do is you're going to say y is 3 plus 2 cosine theta, and ho is sine theta. So when we take the derivative of this, we have to use the product rule. 3 plus 2 cosine theta times cosine theta, because that's the derivative of sine, plus sine times the derivative of this, which is -2 sine theta. Then you have to put pi over 3 in, and you simplify, and you'll get an answer. I'm not going to do that, but could you do that? 3 plus 2 cosine of pi over 3 times the cosine of pi over 3 plus the sine of pi over 3, -2 sine of pi over 3. Could you do all that? And then simplify it and get an answer. And I think I better do this because there is an explanation at the end. 3 plus 2 times 1/2 times 1/2 minus square root of 3 over 2 times 2 square root of 3 over 2. And this will simplify to 4 over 2 minus 3 over 2, which I think I did right, isn't it? 1/3. Units per unit. I guess that's not super helpful. Now tell me about that answer. Take your fingers and go back and forth this way. Would that be dx d theta, or dx dt, or dy dt? What do you think? this. It's d what dt? X. So when they're going apart, would the dx dt be positive or negative when they're going apart? Positive. What's this way then? Negative. Now do dy dt. This is positive. What's negative? Together. So what? I guess they're not together. This would be for y. Is it going up or is it going down? It's going up. Going upward. Positive dy dt.